Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. As part of James Harden Week over at HickoryHigh.com, we thought we'd do a breakdown showing you what has made him have such a breakout year for the Houston Rockets after leaving the Thunder. It's been a controversial trade and everyone wants to argue who got the better of the deal, and clearly when you look at what he's done for the Rockets and their offense and rejuvenated the excitement and interest in the team, clearly Houston is made out like gangbusters in this trade, and we're going to show you just what his specialties are and what makes him so lethal. Let's start by looking at James Harden's overall offensive stats. As the fifth leading scorer in the NBA, he's producing at an elite level both in quantity and efficiency. Of the top 5 scorers in the league, he's third in adjusted field goal percentage. He anchors the fifth most efficient offense in the league, focusing on 3 things: transition, shots at the rim, and three-pointers. Now, let's dive deeper into how Harden gets his shots. Of the top 10 scorers in the league, Harden is the only one who does 3 different things at least 20% of the time. Kobe is the only other player who has even 2. While he is highly rated in all 3 of these categories, it is his ability as the ball handler in the pick and roll that gives the Rockets' half-court offense such a big kick. When Harden does run screen and roll from the wings, he prefers the right side versus the left. Going towards the baseline means he uses his offhand, and he is much more reliant on his pull-up jump shot rather than drive with his right to the hoop. When he does screen and roll on the left side, he is much more likely to drive all the way to the hoop using his strong hand dribble. Let's get to James Harden's bread and butter, the high screen and roll. Of all his screen and rolls, he attacks from this position 76% of the time and is by far the most efficient at it. Contrary to conventional thinking, he goes to his left just enough to keep defenses honest. That said, he finishes more often when driving to the hoop on his left side. He clearly prefers to go right and then uses very crafty footwork to get his shots off. He also uses his right to get around the screen so he can cross over the screener's man, where he's equally good at pulling up or taking him all the way to the basket for a clever Euro step move. He is certainly not intimidated by bigger defenders as he gets to the hoop. The Rockets also employ a flat screen on top, allowing Harden to choose which way he wants to go around the screen, and opponents have found this lethal. So there you have it, sports fans. One could argue that James Harden is a bit predictable. Guys like Iguodala and Battier, who study the tape, know that he's always going to cross over from his right to his left on that pick and roll and try and finish at the rim or pull up. And either way, he's so good and clever with the Euro step, good jump shot from both mid-range and 3, and he can also make great passes to his teammates that it's a very tough thing to stop. Kind of like Vince Lombardi's Packers, who would run the sweep and everybody knew it was coming and they would still get 7 yards. I also want to point out that way back in 2010, I was on the bandwagon for James Harden. I don't want to give you the link to the breakdown because it's embarrassing how bad I was back then, but it is there somewhere, and I was saying how good he is and how good he's going to be, and man, he has blossomed and can get even better with a little bit of a post game. Well, thanks for joining us. This week's been a really big content thing on B-Ball Breakdown, and we'll have lots more coming up, so stay tuned because at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?